Hello everyone, in this video I'd like to talk about V4 of RouteZERO by Dynamon, the HGV specific EV route feasibility tool. And I figured the best way to go about this is I'm going to show you just how quickly you can hop in and start simulating your first route, and along the way I'll highlight some of the new features for V4. So when you first land in the product, you'll see this interface here. Currently the product is focused towards articulated trucks, although we do have rigid truck support coming soon. So our first step is to pick from a list of tractor units. I'm happy to take the DAF 4x2. We can also pick our trailer, and we'll go with, double deck curtain sider. Having picked that, we've then got a choice of energy consumption model. So we have Dynamon energy model. This is a physics-backed simulation that takes into account the dimensions of the vehicle, the types of driving, the cargo, altitude changes, etc. We also have the option of using the manufacturer's efficiency or a custom efficiency if you're choosing. For now, we're going to stick with the Dynamon energy modeling. With that done, we can go ahead and start building our route. We have some options up top here. We can choose to avoid tolls, avoid ferries, or set our speed limiter. And then you can start building the stops in your route using address search. Pick the Dynamon office as our first stop. You can also use click on map. Let's put a stop in Leicester. And we'll end in Manchester. So we've got our 3 waypoints set in here, and you can see the route preview on the right. Now it's time to adjust our cargo. I think we'll leave fully laden. We're going to use the custom mode, so we can set at each point how much cargo to drop off or pick up. We'll drop around 3/4 of our cargo off at Leicester, and we'll carry the rest over to Manchester. With that set up, the last thing to do is pick the temperature we'd like to simulate at. It's a relatively dreary day as I film this, so I think we'll stick with 13 degrees. We click Analyze. In the background, we're now looking at the driving and the vehicle itself to calculate the predicted energy demands. And you can see here we've got our state of charge. Over time, we've tried to drive that route, but sadly, we have run out of battery. But that is okay, because RouteZERO will try and suggest fixes. So you can see here that we're being directed to potentially include some top-up locations. So we have a wide range of coverage in Europe of HGV appropriate top-up locations. And we can filter these down by provider, by country, by charger power, or we can just click on relevant ones on the map. I think as we're going to Leicester, let's go ahead and include that one. And that's now available in our system. We go back to the routing tab. As we left it here, we can click to analyze that route, but now with that public charging location having been included on our network, RouteZERO will go ahead and calculate how long we would need to divert to that charger in order to make our route feasible. You can see here, 1 hour and 15 minutes. We can now smoothly incorporate that extra stop into our route. Click Simulate again. Obviously, we're making our first route here, but we have the option to save and load routes, so you can keep a kind of backlog of routes of interest. We can see the impact here of that charging has allowed us to complete our route. Now, we were just picking from a pre-built list of tractors and trailers, but new in V4 is the ability to actually define your own. So you can come to this tab here. You can define whether you want to use a low cab, a high cab, a day cab, sleeper, number of axles, define your battery and your charging specs, as well as the physical specifications, your curb mass, your height, and your width. Similarly with trailers, you can define your own trailer, pick some defaults here, and you can also add in things like refrigeration, ox loads, or whatever else you need, and those will then freely show up, be run and simulated. But that's it. That's how quickly you can get down to analyzing your first route in RouteZERO.